All right, I'm going to cut straight to it. And you got to be really honest, not with me, with you. Have you ever bought a planner, downloaded a productivity app, or started a new morning routine, completely pumped to finally get your life on track, only to abandon it a few weeks later or even days? Or how about this? Have you ever noticed that some tasks in your business are draining every ounce of your energy, while others that might be just as hard work, just as challenging, actually leave you feeling energized? Sound familiar? Be honest with yourself. Here's the truth bomb that I had to realize. I did not have a productivity problem. I had a brain problem. And I'm guessing you do too. So I'll explain. Your brain is a flippin' supercomputer. But you know what? It's also stubborn as all get out. When you're forcing yourself to do work that doesn't align with what truly matters to you, your real values, your brain literally says, nope, not doing it. It's like putting the wrong fuel in your car. That check engine light is going to come on fast. So today I'm going to show you the exact process I use to stop fighting my brain and start working with it. This is exactly what I do with many of my clients so they can transform how they lead themselves and their business. Promise you, this is not fluffy and it's not find your passion stuff. This is practical science that changed everything for me. So here's the brutal truth about why most entrepreneurs burn out. We have bought into the garbage advice that success means grinding through tasks you hate. You ever seen this on Instagram? Rise and grind. Or you can sleep when you're dead. You might have even posted one of those quotes on Instagram. Honestly, this is not against hard work. Roll up your sleeves. Hard work is part of building a business. If you've worked with me at all, you'll know how often I use the term elbow grease or do the boring thing. But here's what nobody tells you, and I wish someone had told me sooner. When you spend your days forcing yourself to do things that don't connect to what actually matters to you, your brain treats it like a threat. Not even like a small annoyance, but your brain treats you moving out of your alignment with your values like actual danger. It releases stress chemicals that make you foggy, unfocused, and straight up exhausted. Is like an entrepreneurial death spiral because you start feeling drained. So you push yourself to do more of that work. So what does your brain do? It pumps out more of the stress hormones. And those hormones make you terrible at focusing and making decisions. So of course you push even harder, more stress hormones, and we start spiraling, and then there's a crash and burn or a loss of passion, or I better just change what I'm doing. I have watched so many people learn this the hard way, pushing so hard they get to the point of feeling frozen. Have you ever sat on your sofa, caught up in like a scroll vortex instead of doing your next hard thing? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So this is your wake up call. Your brain's not designed to run on willpower. Listen to that. It is designed to run on purpose that connects to your authentic values, not someone else's idea of what should drive you. And here's why this matters for every single one of you. You are not just wasting energy fighting yourself. You are also literally leaving money on the table. Harvard did a study, love the Harvard studies, and they found that entrepreneurs whose businesses aligned with their core values outperformed those who didn't by 47%, not 5%, not 10%, 47%. Can you imagine what a 47% boost would mean in your business? Your impact just went up by 47%, your life. Okay, Megan. She started working with me 2 years ago in November, and she was exhausted. She had been working all hours of the day, trying with every fiber in her being to get income rolling. She had a big goal, and it mattered. Her second maternity leave was about to be over, and she and her husband had made a pact that if she had not matched her corporate income by February, she would go back to her job. So she reached out to me in a panic because that alarm clock was ticking loud. Yes, we focus on strategy, of course, but the magic was finally aligning her business and work activities to her true values. And 2 months later, she had cut her working hours by half. Seriously. And she moved from making a low four figures a month to just the tiniest bit under six-figure event 3 months later. And she has been able to repeat that multiple times in the past 2 years. Needless to say, she is still home doing what she wanted most, which was raise her kids and build a business and make impact. She didn't win because she suddenly got smarter overnight, and it definitely wasn't because she was working harder. I don't think she could have worked harder. It was because she stopped fighting her brain chemistry and started working with it. The science here is fascinating. Here's the one word you need to understand: dopamine. Now, you hear this all the time, but it isn't just the feel-good chemical. It's actually your brain's rocket fuel for motivation, focus, and problem solving. And when you work in alignment with your values, your brain releases dopamine naturally. And when you don't, it doesn't. And there is no amount of coffee or motivational quotes on your bathroom mirror that's going to fix that. But when you get this right, well, your business building activities are going to start feeling like you just got the cheat codes. So how do you actually do this? I'm going to give you my exact 3-step system. Grab your phones because you're going to do some work. So first, we need to figure out what is actually driving you. Not what you think should drive you, and not what someone told you to drive you, and not something that sounds ethereal and fancy. Your real values show up in your behavior, not your words. So grab your phone, for real, and open your notes app. Do it quick because we're going to run through this. You can always come back and pause this and take some time with it if you need to. So answer with the first thing that comes to mind. Don't overthink it. Number 1, what can you spend a lot of money on without feeling guilty? Number 2, what could you talk about for hours without getting tired? And number 3, what problems do you solve even when nobody asks you to? Like, you'll jump into chat and just go. And what would you do that you don't even need recognition for it? The patterns in those answers, that is what your brain is wired to care about. Those are your authentic values. Those are your brain's rocket fuel. When I did this, I realized that growth, creative problem solving, and direct impact, along with wealth building, were my real drivers. Not status, not achievement. Game changer. So number 2, now we're going to connect the values. We're going to connect everything to your core values, even the stuff you've been avoiding. But here's the 5-second strategy. Before starting on a task you've been procrastinating on, ask yourself, how is this task connected to what matters most to me? Be specific and be real. This is going to change your life. 47%. You've got that number, right? So you want to find a real connection between your values and your activities. So Gary hated making sales calls. He is an executive coach that works with me. Avoided them like the plague. But when we could connect those sales calls to his high value of direct impact and how his service changed people's businesses, his entire experience transformed, because now the calls were not about rejection anymore. They were about impact. And it was about taking a step towards what he wanted most. And all of that emotional angst around them dissipated. Same task, different brain response. Try this with the one thing you've been avoiding in your business, the thing you know you need to do but keep putting it off. Link it to your authentic values and watch what happens. Okay, that's step 1 and 2. Now step 3. I want you to reset your environment to support your values. How would you do that? Well, you've still got your phone in your hand, right? Please tell me yes. Open your calendar and look at tomorrow's schedule. Is your most important value-aligned work scheduled during your peak energy time, or are you giving your best hours to other people's priorities? This was a massive wake-up call for me, because when I did this activity, I realized I was giving my creative morning hours to emails and putting my most important work in the afternoon when my brain could only think siesta. So make one change to tomorrow's schedule right now. Move your most value-aligned work aligned to your highest energy time. Do it now, seriously. That single change could be worth thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, to your business this year. So I want you to try something for just the next 3 days. Tonight, look at your 5-second value audit that you did a little bit ago and circle the 2 values that light you up the most. And then tomorrow morning, before you check your email, before you scroll Instagram, before anything else, Choose the one task you've been avoiding most in your business. And then use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. 5, take 5 deep breaths. This is going to say to your body, I'm in charge here. We're overruling subconscious things. And then say your top 4 reasons that the task connects to your values. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Eliminate the 2 biggest distractions in your environment. And then number 1, launch into action. This framework is going to interrupt your brain's hesitation pattern, and it's going to create instant momentum for you. When you have done this, please send me a direct message. I will respond to you. I want to hear exactly what shifted for you. Remember this, your brain isn't working against you. It is trying to work for you, but only when you align with what truly matters to you. I spent years grinding against my own nature, and it nearly broke me. Don't wait for your parking lot breakdown moment like I did. The most successful entrepreneurs aren't the ones with the prettiest planners or the longest work hours. They're the ones who've cracked their own value code and aligned everything to it. You already have everything you need. Your brain is wired for extraordinary performance. Really. But it only works when you fuel it with purpose that's really and authentically yours. So don't doubt yourself. Don't fight yourself. Start leading from what actually drives you. Now go make it happen.